I spent over 20 hours working on this build, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. I mean, inZOI is a new game to me and probably everyone else who's playing right now. And yeah, this build took forever. It was so much fun learning all of the new details with this game and figuring out basically how to play. But this is going to be a long video series. So there's 3 parts. Gonna have everything posted on the same day, so you'll be able to binge if you want to follow along on this journey with me. So let's get into this build. I like to make sure that I have a lot of symmetry in my builds. So as you can see right here, I am creating a room and then duplicating that room to make sure that they are the exact same size. And I have noticed that that is a little bit more challenging to do. Well, having symmetry in this game is a little more challenging to do than, for example, in The Sims, because it's just a lot less standardized in terms of all the customizations that you can do. But that means like you have so much ample opportunity and creativity that you can tap into. So I'm like, I'm not mad at that trade-off. But for example, like having the grid squares be so small means it's a lot harder to just easily see if they're the same size or not. You got to sit there and count the little squares, or do what I did, which is copying a room over. Highly suggest doing that. And with this dropper tool, the same thing. So I'm changing the color of these doors to red, and then I use the eyedropper tool. And that eyedropper tool is such a lifesaver, because if I'm placing down the exact same window throughout the house or the exact same doors, then I can just click on a door that has been colored to the color that I want all of the doors to be, and then select all of the rest of those doors. So once you learn the little processes, it gets a lot easier. It's a little bit of a learning curve with this, of course, but there's a lot to be said about having such detailed customization options, and then having these kind of shortcuts where you can customize every single little detail, which is pretty much what I did for this build. Don't know if I'm going to do that for every single build, but I was like, this is a learning experience. We're trying everything. And if I could change the color on it, I did. Speaking of windows, this is the point where I am trying to put windows in the space, and I ended up switching around to a whole bunch of different windows and trying to figure out how I can place them well after putting this platform up for the front porch. And then I realized that like maybe I probably shouldn't have put the platform there and instead use foundations. And this was also like my first time using a foundation. So yeah, it's so funny to be watching this recording over and seeing all the things that I'm learning as I go. And it's even just like little things. Like, for example, you saw like I was just trying to put stairs there, and the platform was sometimes not high enough to have stairs, which I thought, oh, okay, like even with just a one step, the staircase could be there. But no, it has to be at least high enough to have 3 or 4 steps. So another thing to learn about this early access version. I'm not sure if that'll change, obviously, after the game has been fully completed and released. But it's so crazy that this is like early access, because even now I'm like, this is really close to like complete. Also, the windows. So this game, they have such amazing customization, but I feel like the build rules, like the actual rules of when you can put stuff certain places or where, still need to be worked on a little bit. Because if I want to have a window maybe that's too big and it sinks into the floor a little bit, like maybe that's the look I'm going for, I don't know, but I just like literally can't place windows at all there. And so I was like, oh man, I gotta figure out switching over from platform to foundations, which it all works out in the end. But yeah, there are a lot of restrictions with like where you can place things still. And I'm used to move objects, tool mod in The Sims, where I'm like placing things all over the place. And sometimes you can do stuff like that in inZOI, but it is still more restrictive. And I think it also has to do with some of the bugs as well. As you can see right there, I have the stairs overlapping the floor, that's really weird, but it's like just a little pre-release glitch. An early access glitch. And I'm also excited to see like when we do have more build items, like for example these windows, they might have been a little bit too tall for this build. And I know there's another game that's coming out, what is it called, Paralives, where you can resize the items, like the windows and doors, that can make them taller, wider. And I was like, oh, that would have come in clutch right now. But anyway, I like that even if there are routing issues, we still can place furniture items. They'll give us a warning, like, oh, you have to place Alt button in order to place them in a spot where they might be negatively affecting the game performance or routing issues. However, I feel like when I press Alt, the items move so far. Like, I'm so used to like, I don't know. When I press Alt while holding an item, it moves like half a square over. And I'm like, oh wait, I gotta place it back where it was before. And I think, again, it's like minor little tweaks that once they fix that, it's gonna make the game so much smoother and easier for people who want to build in this game. And I'm so excited for that because it's been out for what, like less than 2 weeks, and they've already done so many like patch updates, and they're really being aggressive with finishing this game. And I am very happy to see that type of thing, even though like people can argue that, oh, you should expect that already, but the bar is low right now in this genre. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Also with roofing, there's like a roofing glitch that makes it like after you place the roof, you save game, then adjusting it afterwards does not work. Like it says, oh, we can't adjust it even when you press Alt. So that's like pretty annoying. And just, I don't know, maybe it was even like before saving, it was just like you place the roof for a little while, and then all of a sudden like you go back to move it later on, you can't move it at all. You have to start over from scratch. And because there's so many rules on where you can put a roof, you can't just place it to the side and then put it back or copy it, because there's nowhere else to put the roof. I've already created the rooms and stuff. So yeah, if you get what I mean. And I wanted to have some sort of detail on this roof piece, but again, like the roofs are they don't have all of the capabilities that I would like them to have just yet. And so like placing a window on the side of the roof was not an option. And even if it's like a room to nowhere, I wanted to feel like there's maybe an attic space that you could get into from some sort of ladder in the ceiling or something like that. But I was like, okay, maybe let's do a workaround, and tried to put a little half wall in front of it, and that was like torturous. So instead I took a photo. Oh no, actually, like I used Canva. I put 208 in this font that I like thought looked like maybe a house number would be, and then I exported that Canva image that I created, put it into the 3D generator, and was able to get that house number. It is a little wonky, it's a little rounded, but from the front angle, having it be so high up on the roof, like you can't really tell that it's like a little curved. Another thing that I think you should watch out for when you're building in inZOI is that when you adjust the rooms, any room on that build, if you're maybe deleting a wall or changing like the size of a room, The stairs are going. They're running away. They're like, bye, I'm out of here. What is this? I'm confused. So what I ended up doing after not realizing it a couple of times and being like, oh wait, where'd the stairs go? So I just put the stairs in my storage in, what is that called? Inventory. I always say that word wrong, so I'm just gonna think a little bit about it before I say it. But yeah, so I'll just say storage because y'all not gonna catch me slipping. Stairs having issues, the roof's having issues. However, it's early access. And also with these custom items, they also disappear if you move things around them or prevent moving the roof like it just happened. What I've learned is that when building, I have to be methodical and like taking one step at a time. So maybe the stairs are the last thing you add to the build because, you know, it's just too much of a hassle for disappearing, or like what I did before, putting it in your storage. However, with the roofing, like I put the number on, and basically once I put that number up, I could not manipulate the roof anymore. So maybe finishing the build, roof and all, then adding those like little details like custom items and stairs. We're gonna go back to talking about the actual build that I'm doing in this video. I ended up doing a lot of customization on the front landscaping in order to have little planters and to have the driveway and the, what are those called? I guess pavers. And yeah, it's time intensive to have all these little details that I'm doing. Oh, there you go. The roof not wanting to change anymore. Sorry. I told myself 5 seconds ago, I'm not going to talk about the glitches anymore. But it comes par for the course. You download an early access game, this is what you should expect. However, yeah, there's just like little things. Even the one thing that is also a problem for me in The Sims that is not an early, it's far from being an early access game, but why are these lots so far from the sidewalk? Like, I want to connect the walkway and the driveway to the sidewalk, please. It's like, it's one of those things that it gets under my skin. I don't know why. I was just like, connect. It is very limiting in terms of what you could probably build. I just ignore it. But if I wanted to make it super realistic, it's okay, what are you building that doesn't have a walkway connected to the sidewalk? And we don't have the ability to manipulate anything within those, like, what, 6 squares from the sidewalk. So you, like, even if there was terrain paint, you couldn't use it. So yeah, I feel like that's gonna be something that they fix, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of other people complaining about that. But anyway, as you can see, my stairs are gone. And this is the point where I realized, oh shoot, like I just gotta put the stairs in storage because I'm doing the interior layout at this point, and every single little move I make, the stairs would just go. And there's a couple other items that I would place, like alt placing, that also disappeared throughout building. So I've come to the conclusion, like, okay, if I want to do any like custom, really quirky things with this build, then it has to be after I've completed the layout, placed all the rooms and walls, which, like, once you know that, it's a lot easier to deal with. And let me just say, getting used to making layouts with a completely new scale of the game it's like a puzzle. It's like a little bit brain power intensive. Like, this is the size of what a toilet needs, and this is the amount of space that a shower needs. Once I got that out of the way, I was like, oh, okay, I could probably replicate and build more easily now, which obviously makes sense. Practice makes perfect. But anyway, I wanted to do a Jack and Jill bathroom off of these 2 kids' bedrooms. And so that was a lot of like trial and error, figuring out how much space I needed for every single item. And I think this was probably the most difficult part outside of figuring out how I wanted to do the fireplace, because initially I was like, oh man, a fireplace surrounded by built-ins in the living room, super like traditional kind of bungalow feeling to have like random built-ins. But yeah, so I had a lot of ideas in my mind of what I wanted this build to come out like, and when I tell you I worked as hard as possible to make it happen, that's why it ended up being like, I think 24 hours of recording time, and then I edited it down to an hour and a half. And once I got it down to an hour and a half, I've been like speeding it up, so it's gonna be closer to under an hour, hopefully. We'll see how this goes. It's so funny because I was so excited to be building in inZOI, and I was actually working a lot when the game came out. I like dealing with life stuff and having a baby, so yeah, this got pushed back to the last thing on my to-do list, and I still spent 24 hours playing the game. So insane. So yeah, this is the end of part 1 of this 3-part video series where I discussed this build, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next one, and yeah, see you soon.